you're looking at a flipbook that is designed to help you keep track of how to solve multi-step equations. And the acronym, don't call me after midnight, you don't have to memorize that. That's just there in case you need something to help you memorize what to do, but or not acronym, but the phrase. But if you think of it as an acronym, DCMAM, so D for distribute, all terms or numbers that need to be distributed, combine like terms, move things to the other side, start adding and subtracting, multiplying and dividing, okay? So take your pencil and open your flipbook to the first step for distribute. Crease it so you can write on it. So if you look at this, this is really complicated. There's a lot going on here. So we've leveled up from two-step equations. But the good thing is, when you are doing multi-step equations, the first step is distribute. The second step is combine like terms. And then, from there on out, it's a two-step equation. Typically. Most of the time. So let's look at this first one. We've got 4 times 2y plus 3. Then we have minus 2y. There's our equal sign. We have a negative in front of the set of parentheses. Then we have plus 29. When we distribute, what math operation is that? Multiplication. So we're going to multiply the terms that are in front of the parentheses to everything that's in the parentheses behind it. It would help if you draw your line. Now I need you to know that we're not solving the whole thing right here. This flipbook is one giant problem, and each page is the next step. Does that make sense? See, look at the next flipbook. Look at the next flipbook page. You'll notice it repeats the first line, and then this is what we're fixing to get. All right, so come up here. So this 4 is going to multiply to everything in the parentheses after it. Does it go to the negative 2y? Why not? It's not in the parentheses. So make sure to be careful when you are distributing not to, send it to everything. And then, what is this negative right here? What number is associated with that? A negative 1. You don't see the 1, but it's there, right? It's understood. So this is a negative 1 multiplying to those parentheses. All right, so let's multiply. 4 times 2y, 8y. 4 times positive 3. 4, I started to mess up, didn't I? What do I do with the minus 2y? Just drop it down, bring it down. Bring down your equal sign too. Negative 1 simply does what to terms? It either makes it negative or positive. It changes the sign, right? So negative 1 times 3y becomes negative 3y. Negative 1 times negative 1 becomes positive 1. It really helps to draw those arches because then you can really visualize what's multiplying. And then the plus 29 comes down. Now that is the first step. Now what we're going to do is take and fold the next flap up. You will notice that what we have just written is repeated on this flap. And now we're going to do what's called combine like terms. Notice what it says. The like terms must be on the same side of the equation to combine, okay? We don't want to move things yet. We're not moving things to the other side yet. Right now we're just saying, okay, all this crap over here, that is a like term gets combined, and all this crap gets combined, right? So once again, it helps to draw your line down the equal sign, because then that way you know that we are just staying on one side. We're focusing our attention on this, okay? That's the one we're focusing our attention on. Okay, so over here, let's read it. We have 8y plus 12 minus 2y. Which ones are like terms? 8y and 2y. Thank you. So 8y minus 2y gives me 6y. And then I'm just going to bring down the plus 12. And then on the right, we have negative 3y plus 1 plus 29. So what would that give me? Plus 30. So we distributed, we checked each side and combined like terms. Now, take the next flap, fold it up. Now we're going to start moving stuff. And here's where you may move things differently than your neighbor, but you may come to the same answer. You have the freedom of choice on which one you want to move. But let's think smarter, not harder, okay? Looking at this, we're going to focus our attention on the last line, because that's the one that we just, ended with. I'm going to draw this line here to remind me of my left and my right. I always start with variables first. You don't have to. If you want to go with just numbers, you can. But I always like to get my variable condensed first, then I deal with my numbers last. Some people like their variable to always come to the left side. Some people like that. That's fine. Some people don't care and they just want the variable to be by itself. So it's up to you to decide what you want to do, okay? And there's nothing wrong with going differently than what I'm about to put on the board. The way that I go about it is I always look at my variables and I ask myself, which one is the smaller number? Because the smaller number is the one that needs to move, because then I run into less negatives along the way. Does that make sense? If I move the small number, I have a chance of not getting any negative numbers as I'm moving it. So that's the way that I go. So sometimes it varies, you know what I mean, in terms of size. So here I have 6, here I have negative 3. This one's smaller. So this is the one I choose to move. How do I undo minus 3y? I would add 3y. And whatever you do to one side, you've got to do to the other, and you need to go underneath its like term. Don't come under here and put plus 3y under the 12, because that's going to confuse you. Go under its like term and put it. And now let's write what we get. 6y plus 3y is 9y. Bring down the plus 12. Bring down the equal sign. This disappeared. Bring down the 30. We are now at a two-step equation, which was your homework last night. So take your paper, fold the next flap, and do the next step, which would be moving any addition or subtraction stuff to the other side. Now you should be able to finish it. I think everybody should be done with the next step, so I'm going to go to it and record it for the video. So on the next step, like I said, we're focusing on that bottom line, and this is now a two-step equation, which is what we practiced yesterday. So you look at it, ask yourself, where's the variable? It needs to be by itself. We move all addition and subtraction stuff first. So I'm going to move this by subtraction to the other side. And then I go to my calculator. 30 minus 12 is 18. I'm going to leave it there. It's tempting to go ahead and divide by 9, but don't yet. Go to the next flap. And here, we can divide by 9 and get our answer of 2. Then, because this is a very complicated problem, it would be very wise to check it, which is the last flap. So if you will take and fold to that last flap, it does give you a lot of room to check it. You don't need all of that room. I will show you how to check it quickly. The idea of checking should not take a lot of time, because if it does, you're not going to do it, are you? I mean, let's be honest. I personally, in math, I used to struggle in math. In middle school, I struggled with math, and my mom hired a tutor because she and I would always fight when she would try to help me with the math. So she hired a tutor because she was like, you know what, I'm not dealing with you. And the tutor used to make me check my work. Hated it. But because she made me do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over, it then became like a second habit. And as I got into high school and started getting good at math, I loved checking, because I'm one of those people that I need to know if I'm doing it right before I keep going. Because if I'm doing it wrong, I'm fixing to continue to do it wrong to the point of where there's no hope. I'm just going to keep doing it wrong. You better stop me. I also have confidence issues, so I'm like, am I doing it right? I don't know. So when there was a problem where I could check it, I loved being able to check it, because I'm like, yes, got it right. Moving on. So I would encourage you to do this, and we'll show you how to do it quickly. So to check it, it is as simple as typing the left side of your calculator, hitting enter, then typing the right side in your calculator, hitting enter, and they should match. Now, when I say typing it in, I don't mean type a Y. I mean type 2 in place of Y in your calculator. So, let's make a note. So we'll have this. Let's say CALC, meaning for your calculator. You're going to type left side in, and I'm going to put a slash to say, then you hit enter, and you leave it. Then you're going to type right side in, and hit enter. And the goal is they should match. If they match, you did it right. So, when you go to your calculator to type it in, everywhere there's a Y, you're going to type a 2 instead. So, for instance, 4 parentheses 2. Then don't type another 2 there. You do need to put times 2, right? Times 2 plus 3, close parentheses, minus 2 times 2, and then you'll hit enter. And you'll leave it. Doesn't matter what the number is, you'll leave it. Let me pull my calculator up and I can show you. Hold on 1 second. Something might be up. Did you hit subtraction instead of the negative in the very beginning? The subtraction button is different than the negative button. The negative's at the bottom, so sometimes that's the problem. Let's look at it. Yeah, you have, wait a minute. All right. Is your phone over there? I need you to get it out. And do you have the app on your phone? Okay, go to the app and full pass. When you return, close the pass and then drop your phone in that caddy. You may have to stand near my desk. Well, it looks like your service might be working better than yours was. Yes. It's nice. We're the very first one. Give it a second. All right, you're good. Go. Is it 24? Yeah. So let's type it. All right, we've got 4 parentheses 2 times 2 plus 3 close parentheses minus 2 times 2. Hit enter. Then repeat with the right side. So you want to do negative, because it's in the front, parentheses 3 times 2 minus 1 close parentheses plus 29. And then if they match, you did it right. 24 is the answer. Not the answer, excuse me. 24 is the value of each side. To get that value of each side, y has to be 2. So yeah, the number doesn't matter what you get as long as it matches. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to practice this with 3 particular problems, because sometimes you may come to a special case scenario, and that's what we need to practice. Now I'm going to pass to you, this will be page, let's see, the Flipbook's going to be 8. Put an 8 in the top right corner of that Flipbook. You with me, David? Good? All right. Sleepy? And then the paper that I just passed to you that says multi-step equations is going to be 9. So we just updated our table of contents. We said that this new sheet is page 9. So put page 9 on this. This is showing you the 3 possible outcomes when you are solving multi-step equations. There's 3 possible outcomes. The first outcome is that you come to one solution. This is 8. Yeah, put an 8 on that. The first outcome is that you come to just one answer, and that's what happened with us on our Flipbook. So if you would solve this one right here, it's very similar to the degree of difficulty of the Flipbook. First, distribute what's in front of parentheses. Then combine any like terms that are on the same side. So you're going to just distribute what's in front of parentheses. Then you're going to combine like terms. Then you can start moving stuff. The asthma action plan paperwork is coming from a different doctor, and they have not sent it to me yet. Harriet, I'm going to call about it today. Yep. When you distribute that 2, since the 2 is positive, it would be negative, and that is the same thing as subtraction. The way it's written right there. Yeah. So you're distributing the 2. All right, I need you to try this one. I need you to know where you're at. You're just distributing the 2. You're going to multiply it into the parentheses and then write what you get right underneath it. 2 times 2 plus 3 plus 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 2 plus positive 2, positive 8, so it would be positive 16. And then also this is going to, so we want to bring this down because we'll work the problem from left to right, and then it's easier to know what to write as you're going. So it'd be positive 16. So, and then you can distribute it to this, which is negative. And there's an x there. So this one, this number came from that times that. And what did you say we would get? Positive and negative. Yeah, so we need to put negative. So when you distribute, it's a little crowded, sorry about that, but when you distribute this 2, did you get this? Notice the only thing that changed was where we distributed the 2. Did you get 16 minus 16x right there? Okay, and then now before you start moving things, we need to combine the terms that are like on the same side. And that would be only on the left side, correct? So we have an x here, an x here. They're on the same side. If you need to draw your line, you can. So you would go to your calculator, or in your head, you would say negative 5x, read it in front of it, minus 16x would be what? Negative 21x. And then what you have not dealt with, which is the 16, will just come down. And this over here is still unchanged because there were no like terms over there to combine. Now we're ready to move things from one side to the other. In this case, this is where you may go in a different direction than your neighbor, but we should still come to the same answer. I always start with the variables first. Okay, so my choices are negative 21x or negative 6x. Does not matter which one you move. I personally want to move the negative 21 because it's a much smaller number, so when I move it, I'm going to yield a positive number. So I'm going to add 21x to itself to make it an inverse operation. Then I'm going to go right up underneath its like term that's on the other side and repeat it. And now I'm going to bring down what's not been dealt with, and I'm going to type in my calculator, or in my head, I'm going to do the negative 6x plus 21x. Okay, so over here we have the 16 comes down, bring down the equal sign. Negative 6x plus 21x is what? 15x. And then this minus 44 has not been dealt with, so it comes down. This is why showing your work is so helpful, because it makes it obvious what has not been handled yet, and you know to just bring it down. Now we're at a basic two-step equation. Here's my x. I need it by itself, so I'm going to move the 44, the negative 44, to the other side. $16 plus 44. 16. And now I'm going to divide by 15, and what do I get? And it's some people it bothers that the x is on the right-hand side of the equation. At the very, very end, you can write x equals 4. It's fine. if 4 equals X throws you off. So let's take some notes right here. This is an example of where there is only one solution, which means only one number, and in our case, X is 4, that can be plugged in to make it true. Now we need to do the 2 examples that don't occur a lot, but they do come up from time to time. And that is if there is no solution or if there is any infinite number of solutions possible. They don't happen a lot, but it will happen on your practice, one of them each. So we need to practice it. All right, so it starts out the exact same. Everything starts the same because you have no idea if it's a none, a one, a none, or many. So looking at this, the very first thing we need to do is distribute. So I want your first line, it's going to get crowded, to distribute the -8 and the -7 and show me what you get. Distribute the -8 and the -7. Remember to read it like a book, from the left to the right, and you just work with each thing along the way. Has everyone tried it? Did you get -8x plus 48 plus x equals -7 minus 7x minus 56? Okay. Now we combine the stuff that's on the same side, so no movement yet. So over here, read it carefully. I've got -8x plus x would be what? -7x. Bring down the 48. On the right, I've got -7 minus 56. What's that? -63. Now we're ready to start moving stuff. Let's start with the variable first. It makes the most sense. And in this case, my variables are -7 or -7. So it doesn't matter which one I move, right? I'm going to just move the, in that case, when it doesn't matter, I always move it to the left. So I'm going to grab this one. Using the inverse operation, I'm going to come under this one and repeat it. But what do you notice happens? Notice that this matches too. They're gone. Now bring down what's left. This is important. You have to bring down what's left. So what's different here is your terms that have variables just disappeared. And what's left is now a statement. And you have to answer the question, is it true or false? And it's all, think of money. I love money. 48, now, negative. We'll think negative meaning you owe. So, $48 equals owing $63. Is that true or false? That's false. That's two totally different scenarios, right? You have 48 bucks or you're in the hole $63. See the difference? So because these do not equal, we would say false, and that means there is no solution, which means there's no number that you can plug in here. There is no number that you can plug in to make that work. Now, it doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen sometimes, and it will happen at least one time on your practice. Now, let's do this one quickly. We're going to distribute. Distribute. So, nothing changes except that distributing. The right-hand side has not been touched at all. Now we're going to check the left, see if there's any like terms, check the right, see if there's any like terms. We have like terms on the right, right? Okay, so since the left doesn't change, I'm going to bring it down. On the right, we have negative 10x minus 2x, negative 12x. Some people notice it right here. Some people have to keep going. So we're going to show both examples. You might notice right here that the left and the right do what? They're the exact same thing. That's your indications. This is a special case scenario. Let's pretend like you didn't notice it. So then you start moving the variable to the other side. But again, it disappears. Now don't immediately assume that means no solution. Always bring down what's left. You got negative 36 equals negative 36. And then you ask yourself, is this true or false? It's true. It matches. So this means infinite solutions, which means it doesn't matter what number you plug in, you get a true statement. Now, you might be thinking, I thought we were supposed to have a quiz today. Because of the fiasco on Monday, it has kind of put a damper in the week. So the quiz will be on Monday after I've refreshed you, because I know you sleep over the weekends. We all do. The sheet I'm going to pass to you right now is a partner sheet. Here's what I need you to do real quick. Buddy up with someone. Just point. Point. Is it Anna? Yeah. Okay. Buddy up with someone real quick. I thought y'all two.
Yeah, me and my son,
Okay. And the reason why is because you're getting two totally different sheets that have the same answers. Totally different numbers. What do you mean, how's it work? You saw them. Totally different answers. I'm sorry, I said it. Totally different numbers, same answers. All right, who's your partner? Not yet? Okay, not yet. Possibly this might be because, and when I say partner, I mean you're literally saying, all right, here's what I got. What'd you get? Okay, we're not running through the halls holding hands. Who's your partner? Gabe? Okay, so what we'll do, we have the three of y'all left. Since we do have an odd number of people in here, then you three can just check in with each other when we come to school Monday. Or if you have flex with the person that's in here, feel free to use flex time. That's the whole purpose of flex. It is 12 problems. You have the whole weekend. You have flex time today. And you will get a no solution and a one infinite solution. You will get that somewhere. Okay?